to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. He likes it when people help prevent wildfires. It hits him close to home. Not everybody gets the hug, my friend. So that's pretty special to get a hug from Smokey Bear.
So it was him. Hey, guys, I told you it was Smokey, and
Okay,
hugs
well,
me.
Congratulations, my friend. And thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair to the car to get him to therapy on time, it's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I'll wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do. Oh, tell the world I see with an emoji. To stop the bullies.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Broadcasting from coast to coast,
city to city, coast to coast.
It's time for the Ryan Hickey Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. If it's happening in sports, it's being talked about right here. And here's your host, Ryan Hickey.
Good Monday morning and welcome in to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. It is the Ryan Hickey Show with you here for the next 2 hours as we roll along until 11 a.m. Eastern with, a ton to get into, a ton to react to from a chaotic college football Saturday and a very busy, entertaining, wild week number 3 in the NFL yesterday. My goodness gracious, the Chiefs are 1-2. My Colts, 0-3. Big squandered opportunity there. Justin Fields makes his debut as a starter in the NFL. We got a ton to get into, a ton to react to, so let's do so. 2 more hours to go here. Plenty of topics to break down. We will have it all covered for you here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network until 11 a.m. Eastern. As a reminder, we are coming to you live from the Big Italy Pizzeria Studios. Now, that's great pizza, hot heroes, and phenomenal dinners. Make sure you check out BigItalyPizza.com to find a location near you. We'll react in 15 minutes to the Rams-Bucks game that, on paper, I thought was the best matchup so far this season. Was it the most entertaining game? No. Credit to the Rams, but 2-0 versus 2-0, two of the big heavyweights in the NFC squaring off in LA. Great game. We'll get to that 15 minutes or so from now. But I do want to start with a game that, it took a little bit to get into. A little bit slow. Packers came out strong, 17-0 right away before you blink. Big halftime touchdown kind of got the 49ers back into the game. And later on in the game, we all thought Jimmy Garoppolo was going to be the hero. come on, telling you this is why Jimmy G is starting the game. This is why Trey Lance set him down the whole year. Jimmy G can get the job done in the interim, have Trey Lance develop so you can win now and also get your quarterback ready for the future. 37 seconds left. No shot the Packers and Aaron Rodgers can get into field goal range, kick a field goal, and win this game. The 49ers got it. But Aaron Rodgers reminds you why he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. And to me, the ability for Aaron Rodgers, 37 seconds left, no timeouts, down by 1, needing a field goal, to execute the drive as quickly and swiftly and efficiently as he did, to put the Packers in score position, have Mason Crosby hit the kick. To me, it's just the latest message. It's the latest example of the Green Bay Packers needing to do whatever it takes to keep Aaron Rodgers after the season. You have to revisit your plans. You cannot let this guy walk out the door in 2021, trade him to wherever you think is fit, because Aaron Rodgers does not have a no trade clause. So you're going to end up trading him. Really, you could say where Rodgers wants, but you're going to go trade him where you think you can get either the best return or maybe where he won't have the best chance to win a Super Bowl. Blow it up. The Green Bay Packers need to blow up their future right now, which is Jordan Love. And you have to make sure Aaron Rodgers is in a Green Bay Packer uniform for 2022 and beyond. You need to go all in on the Aaron Rodgers era for really, honestly, as long as it lasts. Because again, last night was just the latest example, the latest reminder that one, it is so hard to find an elite quarterback. That when you have one, as the Packers do, you have to squeeze every single ounce of life out of it. You can't let an elite quarterback go somewhere else, like the Colts did with Peyton Manning, let him go to the Broncos. Like the Patriots are doing with Tom Brady, letting him go to the Buccaneers. Once you have that top elite guy, you can't have him playing for another team. You can't allow him to go somewhere else. And you just assume, you think that, oh, the next guy that comes in, Jordan Love, is going to be the same level as Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry. There's only one Aaron Rodgers for a reason. There's only, 3, 4, 5 elite quarterbacks in the NFL for a reason. Because it's so hard to be so damn good at the most important position in all the NFL that once you have one, once you have that elite quarterback, there is no excuse for letting it go. And now Aaron Rodgers, after a slow week 1, has sent to reminder really the last 2 weeks that he still has a ton of great football left in him. And if I'm the Packers, I'm telling you, I'm blowing up my future. Jordan Love, we picked you. I'm sorry that this is kind of an awkward 2 years for you. We'll see you somewhere else. Aaron Rodgers, we got to commit to him. We cannot let this guy leave the building with so much still left in his right arm. Because you even look last night. That is a loss for most teams. He single-handedly, Aaron Rodgers single-handedly saved the day for the Green Bay Packers. Because again, I'll ask you this. How many quarterbacks are making that game-winning drive? Not many. Started with a beautiful throw to Devontae Adams for 25 yards on the first play of that final drive, where I don't even know how, the flick of the wrist right over Fred Warner's hand, just about a foot over his hand. And he perfectly placed football. Allow Adams to get a little run after the catch as well. Finds him later for another 17-yard completion. You blink and all of a sudden the other are in field goal range. Here's Mason Crosby hitting a reasonably, good kick. It's not Justin Tucker needing to make NFL history with his game-winning kick. This was Aaron Rodgers putting your own kicker in a good position to succeed. In an impossible situation, 37 seconds left, no timeouts. So when you look around, maybe 3, 4 quarterbacks, right? Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, maybe one other. Make that drive. Tom Brady, make that final drive to engineer it to win the game. So to me, when you watch that unfold, when you watch Aaron Rodgers pull a rabbit out of his hat to save the bacon for the Packers, what are the Packers doing? What are they looking at where they feel so inclined, they are so ready to not only get rid of Rodgers, they're rushing him out. They're trying to move on and usher in the future now while the present is still really good. The present day quarterback you have is still really, really good. Last night was the latest reminder of that. So I don't really know what the Packers are doing. And it's still not too late. But someone needs to explain to me, why is there such a rush to move on from this guy? Why is there such a sense of urgency to pull the trigger to usher in the future now in Jordan Love and, usher out the present in Aaron Rodgers, send him to another team? Like, you have a known commodity. You not only have a known commodity, you have one of the known commodities that, 30 out of 32 teams would kill to have? Maybe 29? There's only 2 or 3 teams in the NFL that would probably say no to Aaron Rodgers for the current quarterback they have. And the Packers like, yeah, you know what? Rodgers is okay. We'll move on. We want Jordan Love here. No, look, we have no idea what Jordan Love is. Maybe he's the next Patrick Mahomes. We don't know. But that's the thing. We don't know. You have a known commodity. You have a guarantee in Aaron Rodgers being an elite quarterback here for the next few years. And instead, they want to rush that out and bring in an unknown in Jordan Love to where, you know what? That's a high standard to live up to, being one of the best quarterbacks of all time. If he's not Aaron Rodgers, which he most likely isn't, if he's just a good quarterback, an average quarterback, even pretty good quarterback, that's not bringing you anywhere near the same heights that Aaron Rodgers brought you. So again, if I'm Packers president Mark Murphy, if I'm their general manager Brian Gutekunst, I'm watching this game last night, and you know what I'm thinking? I'm screwed. If we don't have Aaron Rodgers, I am screwed. We are screwed. This team is 1-2, waking up on Monday morning. And instead, you have, again, a cheat code, an eraser in Aaron Rodgers. That is why, watching this game, by the way, that is why you have an elite quarterback, and that is why they make the most money of any position in the NFL. That's why these salaries continue to go up. Because you could play a great all-around team game. Jimmy Garoppolo, he's a good quarterback. Played okay. At times struggled, especially in the first half. But makes a nice, methodical drive down the field to set up what we thought was going to be the game-winning touchdown with just 37 seconds left. But when you have one of those guys, those elite quarterbacks, it honestly doesn't matter. Just like Patrick Mahomes, it doesn't matter. Because he was in a similar situation earlier today, and we'll get into that game a little bit later on. He almost brought the Chiefs back against the Chargers yesterday. Almost did the same thing and pulled the same Houdini act. So the Packers have one of the top 5, 4, 3 guys in the NFL, and they're ready to say, yeah, we're good. From the Packers, with Aaron Rodgers being 38 years old, with him already kind of still hinting at and saying openly that, yeah, I'll play until I'm 40. Like, he wants to keep on playing. It's not a Brett Favre situation where every single year going forward, you're, is he going to come back? Is he going to play with us? Is he going to retire? We don't know his commitment level. He has said on the record he wants to play into his 40s. He's 38 right now. He's playing some really good football. Or he's 30. He will be 38 in December. He's played some really good football. So if I'm the Packers, watching Aaron Rodgers last night, I'd prefer 4 years of an elite Aaron Rodgers over 10 years of a pretty good Jordan Love? I'd make that trade-off right now. Because a pretty good Jordan Love, maybe, if things break right, if everything goes well, could lead you to the Super Bowl. 4 years of an elite Aaron Rodgers can win you the Super Bowl by himself. Last night was the latest example of that. You can do everything right if you're the 49ers. Play great football for 59 minutes and 30 seconds. But all it takes is that 30 seconds, that little sliver of hope. Leave the door open just a crack. And the great ones take advantage. Bury you. Finish you. And that's what Aaron Rodgers did. So you have that incredible game-winning drive. Carving up the 49ers defense, getting them and the Packers basically stealing a win on the road in which they had, and again, in theory, most of the time, no business winning that game. Coming off now, a Monday night game against the Lions, where, look, I get it's the Lions, but 4 touchdown passes to just 5 incompletions. Week 1 is becoming a very distant memory very quickly here. So looking at the future of this team, if I'm Green Bay, I'm keeping Aaron Rodgers. I'm rethinking my plans right now and all of a sudden starting to call teams asking for a Jordan Love trade. Doing whatever it takes to keep not only Aaron Rodgers in town, maybe talking to Devonta Adams, try to bring him back as well. To me, the Packers should go all in on this squad, on this crew. They don't go all in. That's been one of their flaws to me. This is the guy to go all in on. You go all in on an elite quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is that guy. Last night was the latest wake-up call, the latest example of why you keep an elite quarterback, of why you need one of the best quarterbacks on your team. How much trouble, to me, you'll be in if you let a guy like Aaron Rodgers go out the door. Call his agent. Talk to Aaron right now. I'd bring him in and I'd hammer out a contract extension, make sure he retires a Packer today. And right after that, I'd start calling teams. Hey, who's interested in Jordan Love? Colts are 0-3. They were rumored to be interested in drafting Love. Maybe you try to work out a deal there. Maybe you try to work out a deal with another team here. I'd start shopping Jordan Love. I'd start making sure Aaron Rodgers is my guy going forward here, making sure he is not leaving the building and going to light it up and maybe win a Super Bowl with another team. That to me is my biggest takeaway coming out of that game last night. The magician that Aaron Rodgers was last night. The wizard, I saw that. A lot of people on Twitter were calling Rodgers. You got to make sure the wizard is in Green Bay. You could not allow him to go to Indianapolis, to Denver, to wherever place that is a quarterback away from contending and competing for a Super Bowl. You don't want Rodgers winning another Super Bowl somewhere else. It hurts to me as a Colts fan. It does hurt a little bit watching Peyton Manning have so much success elsewhere outside of Denver. Don't do that to your fan base. Lock in Aaron Rodgers. He sent the latest reminder last night of why you pay elite quarterback. He is still out there with one of the best. He is still elite. Don't let him leave the building. So I'm curious your thoughts. Watching last night's game, 49ers Packers. Aaron Rodgers pulls a rabbit out of his hat. 37 seconds left, no timeouts. Gets the Packers a field goal range. They steal a victory on the road in San Francisco. Now go to 2-1 on the season. For me, if I'm the Packers, I'm rethinking my plans and I am keeping Aaron Rodgers long-term right now. Not even entertaining, not even flirting with the idea of him leaving. I'm trying to lock in and hammer a long-term contract extension right now. Do you agree? Do you agree? Should the Packers blow up their future, which is Jordan Love? They gave up some serious draft capital to trade up to draft Jordan Love. It'd be a little bit embarrassing. They have some egg on their face, but you know what? I'd rather have egg on my face and Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback than have pride get in the way, trade Aaron Rodgers, and then be stuck with Jordan Love. And if he stinks, no one's going to care that you don't want to swallow your pride. It only makes you look worse. Is it time for the Packers to reconsider their future and keep Aaron Rodgers? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Facebook, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Twitter, WWSRN_radio, WWSRN_radio. Also on Twitter, at Ryan Hickey Show. At Ryan Hickey Show. You could tweet us there, comment on the live stream that is on Twitter as well. Love to hear your thoughts. Is it time for the Packers to reconsider their future and keep Aaron Rodgers? We'll get your thoughts. And when we do return, speaking of the NFC, we'll stay there. Rams-Bucks was a classic. Here's a question for you. Are the Rams the team to beat in the NFC? We'll discuss that next when the Ryan Hickey Show does return right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
This is Nnamdi Asamoah. I play football for the Philadelphia Eagles, but what I do off the field with United Way might be more important. I'm a volunteer tutor and mentor. Why? Because over 1 million kids a year drop out of school, and that's not okay. It takes 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes about the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be me, or it could be you. Studies show that if we get to these kids earlier, their chances are better, and kids who read well by 3rd grade are more likely to graduate. So join me in United Way. Suit up and take the pledge. Become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, because when a child succeeds, we all succeed. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge at unitedway.org. Brought to you by United Way, the Ad Council, and the National Football League.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Ryan Hickey Show, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And welcome back into the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. It is the Ryan Hickey Show with you here, chatting some NFC football to start. Packers pull out a miracle, led by Aaron Rodgers. 37 seconds left, 0 timeouts. Still getting a field goal range, still kick the field goal, still make the field goal, and run out of San Fran, stealing a victory on the back of Aaron Rodgers. So the Packers, huge win now going forward. They move to 2-1. Big-time contenders in the NFC. But are they the team to beat in the NFC? Coming into the game, no. Coming out of the game, the answer is still no. And that's because the team to beat in the NFC to me is the Los Angeles Rams. Not the Buccaneers. The reigning Super Bowl champions, the reigning NFC champions. To me, to get to the Super Bowl, it goes through LA. You have to beat the Rams to get there. They are the team to beat. And honestly, they were my Super Bowl pick going into the year. Very high in them. And I thought yesterday, they showed exactly why. They are the deepest team in the NFL. Offensively, defensively. To me, that's why they're the team to beat. They showed how great they are. We saw offensively, they displayed why they're elite. The Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay marriage so far has been perfect. And I will say this, kind of looking back quickly. When the trade was made, right, and the deal first went down where Detroit traded Matthew Stafford to the Rams back in late January, immediately right there, I had the tweets, I had the receipts. Rams are the team to beat in the NFC. They are the NFC favorites to make the Super Bowl. And part of the reason why I believe that was because Matthew Stafford was a great quarterback in Detroit. But unfortunately for him, he got zero help around him, and the organization kind of dragged him down. We didn't get a true chance to see what he could be like, how good he could truly be when there was competence around him. So now he's finally going to a situation where they can actually have the talent around him match his talent. On the flip side, Sean McVay, to me, an offensive genius still, where even there were some questions of, is Sean McVay figured out? Did the league kind of get the book on Sean McVay? Is his offense now slowly starting to come back down to earth? because teams know and defenses know and defensive coordinators know what he's doing. Well, we've seen through 3 games already. He's quickly shoving that narrative aside and showing it. Look, it was more Jared Goff. It's looking more and more like Sean McVay was held back by a quarterback that couldn't do everything McVay wanted. And now that he has a guy that can do what he wants, this offense is clicking. Stafford has helped McVay big time, and McVay is helping Stafford big time. You look at the start to the season. It's not an accident. It's not a fluke. This is legit. This is why I'm buying into the Rams against one of the best teams in the NFL, one of the deepest teams in the NFL, and one of the most, the most solid defenses the Rams will play this year, which is the Buccaneers. Stafford yesterday completed 71% of his passes, so super efficient, threw for 343 yards, 4 touchdowns. And that was without, wow, I don't know where that came from. That was without a very dominant run game that we've really grown accustomed to seeing with the Rams. Wow, it took a second to process that. I don't know what happened. Try to get the bodily functions under control here. But this is not just a one-game wonder for Stafford. We had a really good game against the Buccaneers when they needed to. Buccaneers, Colts, and the Bears. 3 playoff teams from last year so far to start the season. 3-0 in LA. And you look, Stafford, for the first 3 games of the season, completing 70% of his passes, 942 passing yards, 9 touchdowns, just 1 interception. This guy is lighting it up now that he has actual weapons, an actual head coach, an actual offensive line in front of him. He's playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He always was that. The issue is he never got the pieces around him to truly have that talent shine, and now he does. First 3 games of the season, Matthew Stafford has set career highs for him to start a year in completion percentage, yards per attempt, yards per completion, touchdown interception ratio, passer rating. He's been in Detroit 12 years and now in LA 1. So in those 13 years, the first 3 games start the season, all those categories we just listed, he has career highs in. It's not an accident. Finally, Matthew Stafford in LA has the best head coach he's ever had in his career, the best O-line he's ever had in his career, the best running game he's ever had in his career. And still, that's banged up even with, Darrell Henderson missing and Cam Akers tearing his ACL. It's still the best run game he's ever had because there was no run game at all in Detroit. It was all on him. And look, he had Calvin Johnson. No one's going to, there's no receiver. No matter how great Cooper Kupp is, there's no receiver that will come close to the dominance Calvin Johnson had. When you add it together, the group of skill position players, Stafford's never had the depth that he's had so far in LA. So he is taking advantage of greatness around him and elevating his game to even a higher level. And for McVay, he finally now gets in Stafford a quarterback that can open up the deep third of the field. We saw the last 2 years, Jared Goff really was Mr. Checkdown, very conservative, rarely pushed the ball down the field. Looked unsure of defenses at times. That's not Stafford. So that's what, to me, the Rams are the team to be because this is legit here. How Matthew Stafford is playing, how the Rams are playing so far through 3 games. I get it. You want to say it's 3 games of the season. Calm down here. The Bucs are the reigning champs. Until someone beats the champs, you are the champs. To beat the best or to be the best, you got to beat the best. I get it's just one regular season game, and I get Tom Brady. It's different beating him in the regular season than his playoffs. I am telling you, I am buying in on the Rams because this is legit. This is sustainable. Offensively, they are elite. They have a ton of weapons. They have a ton of different ways to dissect him. Matthew Stafford is playing one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But it's not just the offense because the Chiefs have the offense. The Buccaneers have the offense. What did I say before? The reason to me the Rams are the team to beat in the NFC is because they are the deepest team in the NFL. Offensively, they're right there. But it's also defensively, how great they are able to play. And we saw kind of that so far divide between the Bucs and the Rams play out on Sunday. Part of the reason why Matthew Stafford threw for 343 yards and 4 touchdowns was because the Bucs struggled getting pressure with 4. They could not get after the quarterback. Matthew Stafford had a ton of time when the Bucs didn't blitz. And when they did blitz, he carved him up. He made him regret it. He found open receivers that had a field day. So you had the Buccaneers all day struggling to either get pressure, and they do get pressure, trying to defend on the backside because Matthew Stafford would be chopping them up. But you saw on the other side, Buccaneers offense, Rams defense, they were able to get pressure with 4. They were able to harass Tom Brady while also making sure the secondary isn't having receivers running wide open. Right? They got 3 sacks on Brady, hit him a ton, got key stops when they had to. Now, that has helped big time when you have Aaron Donald in the middle just eating double teams and triple teams and being a one-man wrecking crew. It helps when you have Jalen Ramsey in the back end now playing almost like a rover position where he's one side, the other side, covering some people, blitzing, doing it all. A jackknife, if you will, right? A Swiss Army knife in the back end, erasing kind of any receiver that he wants. So when you look around the NFL, the Chiefs, their defense leaves a lot to be desired. The Buccaneers, now they are banged up to be fair, but their defense, again, the strength is the offense. They'll score. The defense just gets some timely stops when they have to. The Rams, I'm telling you, are the deepest team in the NFL. This is not a fluke. This is real. This Rams team is absolutely legit. And I think yesterday they were able to put the rest of the league on notice. So it's not too late. It's still week 3. You want to jump on the bandwagon for the Rams, there is still some time here. But this team is legit. This team is real. To me, they're the team to beat in the NFC. Do you agree? Am I getting too carried away? Am I going overboard here and maybe not giving the reigning champs the respect they deserve? Plenty of different ways, whether it's Facebook, Worldwide Sports right now, to chime in. Twitter, WWSRN_radio, at Ryan Hickey Show on Twitter as well. Comment on the live stream. Tweet me right there. And the Rams, the team to beat in the NFC. Because when you look around, right, I get the Buccaneers are the reigning champions. I get they still have Tom Brady, who, again, is playing some of the best football of his career, somehow at age 44. We're going into the year, I predicted Brady to be the MVP of the considering he'd ever win years ago. And here I am sitting here, Brady at 4. Where he had over, he has what it really, time at them. Got a team like the Aaron Rodgers, motive is game against the Steel from San Francisco. He's the VP. I to kind of football. Still, especially there's the Cardinals move. Kyler Murray. So I get there's a lot of different teams here that are playing well that are going to be a tough, meat grinder, if you will, once the playoffs come. Have all those teams. Take the Buccaneers, take the Cardinals, take the Seahawks, take the Cowboys or the Washington football team, take the Packers. I will take the Rams. It's early. It's 3 games. This is legit. This is sustainable. This is who the Rams are. An elite offensive team and a really damn good defensive team. This team last year, I get they lost Brandon Staley, which is a key loss going over crosstown to the Chargers, who was their defensive coordinator last year that really kind of got the most out of this defense. I get it. But this team was a quarterback away last year from, I think, winning the Super Bowl. They were that good offensively and defensively. They returned a ton of starters for that team last year and upgraded the most important position in the NFL, quarterback. Matthew Stafford is the missing piece to this team. So if you were a doubter in January, in February, even in July and August, where you were unsure how truly good Matthew Stafford was, well, there was some doubts. People were trying to just kind of poo-poo his Detroit career and try to blame it on him for the reason why they never won a playoff game. Try to blame it on Matthew Stafford for only making the playoffs 3 times in 12 years. instead of looking at the Lions, total dumpster fire as an organization, basically for the entirety of their existence. The fact that they never really could block for him, they never could run for him, and they never could play defense. They never had any, competent head coach, and the one they did in Jim Caldwell, they fired. They put basically the season on Matthew Stafford's shoulder, on Matthew Stafford's body, and say, go win us 10 games, go get us to the playoffs, go win us a playoff game. That's not sustainable. That's not how you win games. That's not how you build a winner in the NFL. The Rams are showing you that right now. You have to build a deep team offensively and defensively. To Les Snead's credit, the GM, he has done that. To Matthew Stafford's credit, he's come in and played incredibly well. He has taken advantage of having the best weapons around him. And to Sean McVay's credit, he's showing that, it's not me. I could still scheme it up with the best of them. I could still call some great plays. Now I have a quarterback that can kind of match my level of thinking, match my level of play calling, and it is a deadly combination. So are you a believer? Are you a believer in the Los Angeles Rams as the team to beat in the NFC? I'd love to hear your thoughts. What is your temperature? What is your thoughts on the Rams so far after a big, dominant victory over the Buccaneers in Week 3? Facebook, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Twitter, WWSRN_radio, at Ryan Hickey Show on Twitter as well. We'll get your Rams thoughts. Are they the team to beat in the NFC? And when we do return here on the Ryan Hickey Show in just a few minutes, what a weekend in college football. Just when you look at the schedule, okay, there's not a lot of great games and a lot of sexy matchups. Maybe it'll be a boring or a low-key weekend in college football. Anything but the case. Hell of a weekend in college football. A lot of different exciting points to talk about. So we'll do so. We will whip around the college football landscape here with a few different points to hit on, including Clemson's season ended on Saturday, as we all know, losing to NC State. Oklahoma, are they the next contender to have their season end? We'll discuss that when the Ryan Hickey Show returns right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors, LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network, LLC.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit them online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Ryan Hickey Show, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
We're getting insane in the membrane here on the Ryan Hickey Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network because it was a wild, wacky, crazy week number 4 in college football. You think it's going to be an okay, maybe this is the weekend you kind of, if you have a honey-do list or maybe, you got a few things to check out, maybe, okay, I'll check in here and there, but this is kind of maybe the week where you're not totally locked in on college football. And my goodness gracious, I hope you didn't regret that. I hope you were constantly checking your phone here and got caught up eventually, because there was so much to get into, so much craziness in college football. So let's dive into it. To me, the biggest winner from Saturday, the team where if you're waking up on this Monday morning, you feel the best about yourself, is a team that didn't even play on Saturday. That's right. To me, it's Cincinnati. They were the biggest winner from this past weekend of college football because they got really two big pieces, two key breaks go their way for them to be in position to become the first Group of 5 team to ever make the college football playoff. They got a huge break in terms of Clemson losing, right? So now Clemson has 2 losses on the season. They fall to 2-2 on the year. They're out of the college football playoff. The ACC, that conference stinks. They're out of college football playoff. So now you have one Power 5 conference completely eliminated. We're not even in October yet. That's huge for Cincinnati. And the other one was one that affects them more directly. They got a huge Notre Dame victory. This now sets up for a top 10 matchup in South Bend next weekend. Bearcats going on the road, taking on the Golden Domers. And you want to make the playoff as a Group of 5 team, you need games like this on your schedule. You need opportunities like this in order to show the committee, show the country you are legit. Part of the reason, a big reason actually, why no Group of 5 team has ever made the college football playoff since it was implemented back in 2014 was because no Group of 5 teams have games like this on their schedule, a top 10 road game. You win this game on Saturday, you put the rest of the nation on notice that you are legit. You're legit. Maybe they might need one AAC team to sneak in the top 25 here, but they go 13-0. Well, let's say 2 ranked wins, a top 10 victory on the road over Notre Dame. You look at their resume, you look at Clemson already out, you look at the way Ohio State has kind of sluggishly played so far. The Pac-12 is on life support now with just Oregon as their only team left to have a shot to make the playoff. And as we know, the Pac-12, the mantra, kind of the MO for them has been cannibalizing themselves, beating each other up, and that way no team has kind of ever really gotten a real chance or a good shot to make the playoff. So that happens again. You're Cincinnati, no Pac-12, no ACC. You have a top 10 victory on the road on your schedule. You are sitting pretty. This is a huge, huge break for Cincinnati. This is what they have going for. Now, they have to win the game. Don't get me wrong here. That's part of it. Maybe they have to win in a dominant style. They have the opportunity. The door is open for them wider than any other Group of 5 team in college football playoff history. Cincinnati, they had a bye. Biggest winner from Saturday. Another huge winner, though. Arkansas. How about the Razorbacks? They continue an incredible season. Sam Pittman, the turnaround he has had in his 2 years now in Fayetteville is honestly unreal. Arkansas was basically the Rutgers of the SEC, the doormat, if you will, the bye week. It was an extra bye week. They would just get crushed every single year, be hopeless, be helpless. And now here they are beating number 7 Texas A&M 20-10, blew the doors off Texas a few weeks ago. And they're doing so in a sustainable way, by the way. This isn't a fluke to me this season going forward. This is legit. This is sustainable because how they are playing is real. They had their way on the ground yet again against A&M, ran for almost 200 rushing yards. And that's impressive because A&M's defense is really good. It's one of the best in the country. Best total defense, best scoring defense, and best passing defense in all the country A&M had coming to this weekend. And you had KJ Jefferson. Well, look, you look at the stats. He threw for 212 yards in the game. Not that impressive. But when you look at, you dive deeper into the numbers, halftime he had 202 passing yards. Now he got hurt early in the second half and missed a good chunk of that second half. So that's part of the reason why his numbers weren't higher. But throwing for 200 yards in the first half against the best pass defense in all of college football is something that's seriously impressive. Jefferson threw 2 touchdown passes in the first half. Those are the first 2 touchdown passes A&M allowed all season. So you have this Arkansas offense that really humming, really playing well, in part because of their physical styles leading the way. The run game, the dominant run game, that's one of the best in the country, is opening up passing lanes. And now you have Arkansas dissecting the best pass defense in all of college football. So going forward, this is not a fluke. This is legitimate here. They can run the ball really well. Their offense is super efficient. They can score points and do so in an easy manner, in a way that's not clunky, in a way that's not fluky. On their defense, they play hard and they're aggressive. The worst part, the biggest blow for Arkansas now going forward is honestly just their schedule. Their schedule is a total meat grind. And listen to this, just the next 3 weeks here. So they just played number 7 Texas A&M at a neutral site. This week they go on the road at number 2 Georgia. After that, next week they go on the road at currently number 13 Ole Miss, who's playing Alabama this week. Then you finish off at home against Auburn, who's currently just hanging on in the rankings. So your next 3 games are against Georgia, Ole Miss, Auburn, 2 on the road. I mean, you go 1-2 and finish this 4-game stretch 2-2. That's super impressive. That is a big step here in year number 2 for Sam Pittman. This program is building and it is legitimate. Keep on stacking the wins. Keep on stacking this style of play. They will be a player in the SEC West come soon. I'm not a believer in Texas A&M. I don't think they are very good in general. I thought last year was kind of a fluky year where they had a lot of things go their way and kind of that added up to an 11-win season. But you look now, right? Alabama's still Alabama. So we're not saying that Arkansas is going to replace Alabama. But LSU, down year. Some questions about Coach O. A&M, backup quarterback, I get it. Their offense to me is still clunky. Some questions there. I think they'll have a come down. Auburn, we'll see what Brian Harsin can do. I'm not a believer in terms of them being a consistent number 2 team in the SEC West. The door's open to be that legitimate number 2 contender in the SEC West. Arkansas right now, they're not there yet. They might not even be there next year. They are building towards it, though. This is what Sam Pittman is building is sustainable, is legit. Awesome win for the Razorbacks on Saturday. This is something to watch going forward. This is not your dad's Arkansas anymore. This is not the doormat. This is not the rollover. This is not the extra bye week on the schedule. This team will punch you in the mouth, and if you do not come ready to play, will not only beat you, embarrass you. Ask Texas. Ask Texas. Congratulations, Arkansas. Fun team to watch. Super excited to watch their game against Georgia. See how they can go up against the Bulldogs on the road. This team is legit. Don't be sleeping on the Razorbacks. Speaking of sleeping, Clemson, let's go to bed now. Season is over. And if you listen to this show, I thought the season's been over since they lost to Georgia week number 1. In part because you look at the ACC and their schedule going forward, there was no opportunity for wins going forward for Clemson. For me, part of the way you make the playoff, it's about who you lose to, right? Because it's almost impossible for a lot of these teams to go undefeated. You're not going to have 4 undefeated teams make the playoff. Maybe 1 or 2. So it's about who you lose to and how you lose, but also it's about who you beat. That is, to me, even more important than who you lose to. You need to have impressive wins. And for Clemson, they had one opportunity at an impressive win all season long. It was against Georgia to start the year. They lost that game. The ACC stinks. No fault of their own, but they didn't have any other chance to kind of showcase how good they are. And now you lose to NC State, double overtime, 27-21. Adios. See you later. And the offense has been the biggest reason why this team has been so disappointing. Like, it is kind of weird and crazy to see how bad offensively this team has been. In case you didn't watch the game or in case you just missed the numbers, because you watch it and it's one thing, but now you read the numbers now coming after that game, it is mind-blowing how bad this Clemson offense is. So on Saturday against NC State, do you know how many first downs they had in the game? They had just 10. Just 10 first downs for the entire game. Fewest since 2008. Over a decade. When you look when they were humming, right? 2018 to 2020. When Trevor Lawrence was in town. When Travis Etienne was there. When Justin Ross was coming out of the scene as a freshman. When T. Higgins was there. There's a lot of talent on this Clemson offense. Don't get me wrong. But from 2018 to 2020, they did not have one game, not one, where the offense racked up less than 300 yards of total offense. So from 2018 to 2020, 0 games with less than 300 yards of total offense. 2021, Clemson has played 4 games so far. 3 out of the 4 They've been held to under 300 yards of total offense. And it's been a total nightmare on every level. There's not one person to blame, and that's maybe the biggest concern about Clemson, is that it's not just DJ Uiagalelei. It's not just the run game. It's not just the offensive line. It's not even just the play calling. It is all of the above. It is all working backwards in a negative way to hurt them. And that, to me, is a concerning part going forward here. That is really concerning when it's basically everything not working. The O-line, they have struggled in the past. They had never been an elite unit by far, but you had Trevor Lawrence, you had Deshaun Watson to kind of bail you out. DJ Uiagalelei, still young, still trying to work through it. But there's no run game to kind of help him out. The O-line's not giving him a ton of time to pass. The coaches really aren't doing a good job of calling plays. It's very vanilla. It's very bland. There's no real originality. So you would think, all right, if you have a quarterback that's struggling to read defenses, not really going through his progressions, holding the ball for too long, the offensive line struggling to protect him, you would think you'd call a lot more maybe quick throws, more screens. And instead, they really haven't been doing that. It's kind of the same old play calling that we saw against Georgia, against Georgia Tech, and now against NC State. It's the definition of insanity. And you look at their offensive totals. We talked about the ACC and how bad it is, right? The ACC stinks this year. But even with how bad the conference has been overall, you have Clemson, dead last in the conference in terms of total offense, dead last in the conference in terms of passing offense. That's not good. I really misread this Clemson situation where I thought, you know what? Lose to Georgia. They're still talented where they'll just beat any ACC team they play because they're just way better. Even if they don't play great. Even I know you survived Georgia Tech and they didn't really do anything to give you confidence. I still thought they'd run the table and win these games just because they have the talent, because they're Clemson. We got to start thinking about that again. We maybe got to start considering, maybe just saying it's Clemson is not good enough anymore. Now, plenty of time here to kind of turn it around. If DJ Uiagalelei can kind of get some confidence second half of the year, carry that momentum into 2022. But there are some questions here, and this bears watching. Even though Clemson season's over, it still bears watching to see how this offense adjusts, if they can adjust going forward. Man, what a terrible, terrible year for Clemson. So we have one contender that we thought was a lock to make the college football playoff out already in the Clemson Tigers. Another team that's flirting with disaster, team that so far hasn't had a loss yet, but it's been right there every single game almost, it feels like, is Oklahoma. Are they the next contender to get bounced? Are they even, a contender right now? Honestly, despite another close call where they beat West Virginia on a walk-off field goal 16-13, despite another game where the offense is pretty boring, where you had the Sooners fans booing Spencer Rattler on Saturday night, chanting Caleb Williams' name, who's the backup quarterback, wanting him to go into the action and get into the game here. Despite that, I still think Oklahoma is a contender. I still have confidence they'll turn it around. And I think they will make the college football playoff because this is kind of who they've been. Like, this is kind of their identity now the last few years. In the Spencer Rattler era, they are, and they have been, a slow starting team. Go back to last year. They started the year off 1-2. I get last year was a kind of a weird, crazy, clunky 2020, pandemic year. I get it. They started off the year 1-2 with losses to Kansas State and Iowa State. After that, they're really starting the second half of the Red River rivalry game against Texas, where Spencer Rattler was benched. They came back in the second half, helped them lead them to a full overtime victory over the Longhorns. Once that Texas game came and went, Spencer Rattler took off. He took off, didn't look back. The Oklahoma team took off, didn't look back. They finished that season 7 consecutive wins, including winning the Big 12 title, including blowing out a Florida team that did not want to be there. I get it, but still, 7 straight wins. Average margin of victory in those 7 wins, 27 points. So they were slow out of the gate. They were, scuffling. They lost 2 games last year. And as soon as Rattler finished, figured it out, boom, hit their stride, was blowing everyone out. So Rattler's kind of he's been a slow starter. Last year, he's been a slow starter again this year. But I do have confidence once he kind of figures it out. Now, the question is, what is he going to take? Last year, it took him getting benched midway through the Texas game to kind of give him a wake-up call here and get going. I don't know what it will take this year. To be fair, I don't know. But I am confident he will kind of turn it around here very soon. And once he does, forget it. Oklahoma's gone. You look at last year. He started the year the first 3 games, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. After that, after he was benched, after he came back and led the victory over Texas, those 7 straight wins to finish the year, he had 15 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions the rest of the way. That's it. 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So he'll turn it around soon. This Oklahoma offense, and really the Oklahoma team, is waiting for him, is poised for an explosion once he figures it out. I think he will soon. That's why, to me, Oklahoma, in my mind, is still a contender for the College Football Playoff. They're a slow starter. It takes about a month now with Rattler to kind of get going here. I think once they kind of hit it, and I don't know if it's one play, I don't know if it's, again, benching Spencer Rattler or maybe opening up a quarterback competition. But once Rattler gets in that groove, I'm expecting Oklahoma run the table, blow a lot of teams out, and show why they are deserving of being one of the 4 best teams in college football. So I'm curious your thoughts. Excuse me. As we're working through a cough here on the Ryan Hickey Show on this Monday morning, who is or for Oklahoma at least, are they still a contender in your mind? Can Oklahoma still make a run to the college football playoff? Love to hear your thoughts. Facebook, Worldwide Sports Network. Twitter, WWSRN_radio, at Ryan Hickey Show on Twitter as well. We'll get your thoughts. We'll circle back to the NFL here at the top of the hour when we do return in a few minutes from commercial. The Los Angeles Chargers with a huge victory over the Chiefs. When you look at the landscape of the AFC, are the Chargers the biggest roadblock for the Chiefs? We'll discuss that when the Ryan Hickey Show does return right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi, I'd like to report a bear hug.
Uh-huh, okay.
Well, we were building a bonfire, and I saw some, dry brush and leaves around, so, I said to move the bonfire somewhere else, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear shows up and hugs me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. He likes it when people help prevent wildfires. It hits him close to home. Not everybody gets the hug, my friend. So that's pretty special to get a hug from Smokey Bear.
So it was him. Hey, guys, I told you it was Smokey.
Okay, well, congratulations, my friend. And thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair to the car to get him to therapy on time, it's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face. And posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do. Oh, tell the world I see. With an emoji. To
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. Feedthepig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape? You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel? Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Ryan Hickey Show, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
And welcome back into the Ryan Hickey Show, right here with you. Where else? The Worldwide Sports Radio Network on this beautiful Monday morning, a jam-packed Monday, because my goodness, college football on Saturday, chaotic. NFL Sunday was bonkers. Great Monday to be waking up here and talking some sports. The 10 o'clock hour, as always, is sponsored by LC Designs. Charcuterie boards, they're perfect for all occasions. So make sure your guests are happily fed with some delicious and aesthetically pleasing. That's right, you can do both. Get those both delicious and aesthetically pleasing charcuterie boards made by Lauren Clark herself. Check out lcdesignsnyc.com. lcdesignsnyc.com for more information. A great game yesterday in the NFL in Kansas City. A surprise game in the NFL. The Chargers put the Chiefs to 1-2 on the season. Now, it's not just this game. And it's not even just this year. I think the Chargers are still a year away from this. But going forward now, right, if you look at Patrick Mahomes versus the rest of the AFC, where there's a ton of young quarterbacks here in the AFC, right? You have Baker Mayfield, you have Josh Allen, you have Lamar Jackson, you have Justin Herbert, maybe Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, right? Some young quarterbacks. The AFC is filled with a lot of young, talented quarterbacks. Going forward here, if we're looking at this from a 10-year perspective, the biggest competitors for the Chiefs, the one team I think that will be the biggest thorn in their side for Patrick Mahomes' tenure in Kansas City is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. It won't be this year. I don't think the Chargers, are Super Bowl ready by per se. I'm not even sure if they're playoff ready. But going forward here, the Chargers will pose the biggest threat to the Chiefs on a year-by-year basis. It's not going to be the Browns or the Bills or the Ravens. It's the Chargers for 3 reasons why. They play aggressive. They have the perfect defense that matches up with Kansas City. And they have the quarterback to keep up with the Chiefs. Those 3 ingredients are imperative and key to taking down Kansas City and LA. This is not the first time mind you, that they've done this, but they have been able to kind of have Patrick Mahomes' number as much as you possibly can for a great quarterback on a great team, but have consistently pushed him to the edge, and they have what it takes to make his life hell. Yesterday was just the latest example, and now this is really where Brandon Staley kind of makes the biggest difference compared to Anthony Lynn, no offense to him. But yesterday, part of the reason why the Chargers were able to pull off that victory in Arrowhead was because they played to win. They were the aggressors. They were overly aggressive at times. But guess what? That's what you have to be when you are facing the Chiefs. When you are facing Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, you need to push the limits. You need to push the brink of your offense and your comfort level more than you would any other team in the NFL. And guess what? The Chargers did that yesterday. They played for what? They played for touchdowns. They played for touchdowns. They did not even care. They did not even think about field goal. They thought 6. And that was played out late in the game because the Chargers did something late in that fourth quarter that we rarely see. And they're tied 24-24. Going off that shocking, if you will, Patrick Mahomes interception late in the game where he just threw it up, bad decision, Chargers get a pick. You now 4th and 4, right on the fringe of field goal range. You know what most teams are doing there? They're kicking the field goal. Most teams are kicking the field goal and hoping their defense can stop Patrick Mahomes. We have seen that play out how many times? And how many times has Patrick Mahomes, where the field goal is made or missed, come down the field, lead the Chiefs to victory? It's like clockwork. So instead, on 4th and 9, the Chargers go for it. They say, screw it. We are winning or losing the game with our offense. We are not allowing Patrick Mahomes to beat us. They lived out that aggressiveness, and it paid off for them. You get a pass interference call, and again, that just didn't stop there. Maybe you could say they were too aggressive, but you know what? I'm not going to, harp on it. Tony Romo was a little confused, and I'll be honest, at times so was I, but I think the over-aggressiveness and the philosophy is how you have to beat the Chiefs is by going for the throat. Even after the pass interference call, the Chargers were still throwing the ball, still throwing to the end zone. They get the touchdown on Mike Williams, just about 30 seconds left. They kept their foot on the gas. And they did not play to lose or play to avoid losing. Right? There's 2 ways to play in the NFL. You play to win and you play not to lose. A lot of teams play not to lose. Let's do the safe call. Let's not get in our own way. Let's just play it by the book, play it by the numbers. The Chargers yesterday played to win. And again, they took that aggressiveness to a level 10. They went all the way. Again, remember who you're facing. This is the same Chiefs team you are facing that in the playoffs and the AFC divisional round on 4th and 4 in your own territory when you're up by 5 points against the Browns. With a backup quarterback and Chad Henne, Andy Reid went for it and won the game. That is the aggressiveness you are going against on a weekly basis. That is the aggressiveness, if you're the other team, no matter who you are, you have to match and then sometimes surpass. And that to me is what the Chargers did on Sunday. They maxed out the aggressiveness. They played Kansas City football and they beat them at their own game. You can't be afraid to be aggressive and make mistakes. That's what LA did. And that's why, to me, that is one of the reasons why they're going to be the biggest competitor to the Chiefs in the next 10 years. But if you look at this from a long-term perspective, Mahomes is not going anywhere. Justin Herbert's not going anywhere. Baker Mayfield's not going anywhere. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. All these teams with different young quarterbacks in the AFC vying to knock off the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to be the team next decade to beat. Just as the Patriots were for 10, 15, 20 years. They were always the team to beat in the AFC. That's now the Chiefs. The team best positioned to do that on a year-by-year basis is the Chargers because they play to win. They match the aggressiveness. They surpass the aggressiveness. But that's not all. You could be aggressive. You could be overly aggressive. But guess what? If you don't execute, if you don't succeed, it doesn't matter. You're going to lose anyway. Part of the reason why you have to be so aggressive, and the Chargers was because they had confidence that their defense can match up with Kansas City, and they can. They have the defense to slow down Patrick Mahomes as much as you can because you're not slowing them down completely. How many times we've seen Patrick Mahomes get shut down for a quarter, for a half, for 3 quarters, for 3.5 quarters, ask the 49ers in the Super Bowl. There's no slowing them down for 4 quarters. But in terms of having the formula and having the makeup to slow Mahomes down as much as you possibly can. The Chargers have that. And the stats back it up. You look at Patrick Mahomes' stats against the rest of the NFL. For teams he's played more than once, right? So he's had multiple meetings against. He has the lowest passer rating and the lowest completion percentage against the Chargers. Any team he's played more than once, his lowest completion percentage, his lowest passer rating is against LA. They consistently match up well and able to bottle up as much as possible. But what's the reason for that? Because they have the formula. They rush with 4 and they play great in the secondary. Joey Bosa leads the charge of not having to blitz and still getting pressure. Defense Zach Mahomes just 2 times, but you register 7 quarterback hits. Mahomes was flushed out of the pocket multiple times, and you're able again to do so with just 4 rushers. So that way Mahomes breaks the pocket. When he breaks contain, he's trying to keep the play alive with his legs. Well, there's still plenty of members in the secondary covering Tyreek Hill, not allowing that, those huge plays that we saw kind of off script that Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and Mahomes make all the time that look so easy and or end up being so devastating as the Browns from 2 weeks ago. So you're able to keep everything in front of you. You don't allow Tyreek Hill to take you over the top. You keep it all in front. They tackled well, most importantly. They didn't allow a lot of yards after the catch. They did everything defensively to keep the Chiefs bottled up as much as they could. 24 points is a huge win that you allow to Kansas City. That's a win. You ask any defensive coordinator, you say, hey, you'll limit the Chiefs 24 points in this game. They'll say, sign. Where do I sign? Lock it up. I'll take that right now. That's what the Chargers defense was able to do. And they've been doing it consistently since Mahomes got into the league. I mean, we won't count last year because the Chiefs sat all their starters. But they go into Arrowhead, the Chargers do yesterday and win. 2018, Phil Burr was a no different team. That was another sign where, especially defensively, a lot of the same players were there. They beat Patrick Mahomes in Arrowhead. They are not afraid of the Chiefs in Kansas City. They match up well. Remember, even last year in Justin Herbert's first career start, came up against the Chiefs in LA, week number 2. They took him to overtime. They played well. They match up really well with Kansas City. They have the aggressiveness, they have the defense, and now we are seeing they have the quarterback. Because no matter how aggressive the coaching staff is, no matter how well your defense is playing, because again, you can't hold the Chiefs down for 4 quarters, you also need your quarterback to make some plays. Not keep up with Patrick Mahomes, because that's a tough task for any quarterback, but make some plays of your own. Put your offense in, make a few completions, hit a few third downs, make some big touchdown throws, and Justin Herbert is that guy. Yesterday, he threw for 281 yards, 4 touchdowns, made plenty of beautiful throws in the tight windows. Keenan Allen made a ton of tough catches. Clutch throw after clutch throw, was not afraid to, take a chance, was not afraid to give his guy an opportunity, was not afraid to fit a ball in a tight window. But while taking chances and being aggressive, he also didn't put the ball in harm's way. He did not give Patrick Mahomes any extra opportunities to succeed, which is, again, another way of how you keep this Chiefs offense under wraps. So in terms of playmaking, Herbert can make the plays to get the Chargers offense a chance here. And he did. He continually made some big throws, some big conversions, and down the stretch after getting the interception that Patrick Mahomes gave them, he converted with 7. Again, not a field goal, not even just taking moving the ball a little bit, then punting late and forcing overtime. He was able to capitalize in a way Mahomes has capitalized on other teams' mistakes for years and threw it back in their face. Made Mahomes pay. How many times have we been able to say that? Make Mahomes pay. Lamar Jackson did so last week with a big fourth quarter and a big second half. Justin Herbert did so again yesterday. So they're, to me, still a year away from being a legitimate playoff / Super Bowl contender here. But we're looking forward here. Next 10 years, all these young quarterbacks in the AFC. It's not the Browns. It's not the Bills. It's not the Ravens. The Chargers. They are the team that consistently is going to be the big hurdle for the Chiefs to clear. That is going to be the team from a Kansas City perspective that you have to beat. That's the hurdle that constantly is going to be kind of a thorn in your side. That's the team you look at and say, this is the guys we need to beat. This is the one that gives us the biggest challenge. This is the team in the Chargers that's going to be the toughest kind of roadblock to get to the Super Bowl on a year-by-year basis. So I'm curious your thoughts here. Watching that game yesterday, watching Justin Herbert go into Arrowhead, play well, come out with 4 touchdowns and a victory, watching the Chargers defense get some pressure on Mahomes, force 3 turnovers. How often do we say that? 4 turnovers, actually. Playing really well. Are you a buyer and a believer in LA long term? If we're looking at the next few years, right? Not just this year, next few years, are the Chargers the biggest challenger to the Chiefs in the AFC? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Facebook, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Twitter, WWSRN_radio. At Ryan Hickey Show on Twitter as well. The NFL is a game of matchups, right? We always hear that. Well, in terms of matchups, no team matches up better against the Chiefs than the Chargers. That, to me, is why they're the biggest challenger going forward. So let's hear your thoughts again. Facebook, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Twitter, WWSRN_radio. At Ryan Hickey Show on Twitter as well. We'll get your thoughts when we come back. Quick hits time in the NFL. It's week 1, or it's week 1. It's Monday, after week number 3 in the NFL. A lot of different angles to hit on, including Justin Fields makes his big-time anticipated starting debut for the Bears. Safe to say, did not go as planned. What should the Bears do going forward? I have a solution, and I'll tell you when the Ryan Hickey Show does return on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Of course my kid's in the right car seat. Well, I think he is.
Yeah, my kid's in a booster seat. He was ready to move up. He is ready, right?
Her car seat looks like the right size.
There are probably rules on when to move up to a booster seat, aren't there?
Rear facing, forward facing. I think I have it right.
Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Are your children in the right car seat for their age and size? Don't think you know. Know you know. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat.
I know my child's in the right car seat, or else I wouldn't get in the driver's seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Ryan Hickey Show, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
A ton of different storylines, a ton of different angles, a ton of different games and players to hit on in week number 4. Week number 3. I'm already losing my mind here. Week 4 in college, week 3 in the NFL. But it's only a 2-hour show. We're on twice a week, so we don't get that much time to kind of react and hit on everything. So we do so in a segment called Quick Hits. We bounce around the league, hit on a few different games and talking points and storylines in a relatively quick fashion. We'll start with some breaking news that happened here in the NFL. A trade has gone down half hour ago. Ian Rappaport, great NFL Network insider, tweeted that the Panthers are closing in on a trade for Jacksonville Jaguars cornerback C.J. Henderson. Now, if you remember, C.J. Henderson, former first-round pick for the Jaguars, went pretty high. I believe it was number 5 overall just, 2 years ago? And now the Carolina Panthers have acquired that talent for Dan Arnold. So now Sam Darnold loses Dan Arnold, the tight end, and a 3rd-round pick. So you got Carolina. You get a legitimate starting caliber corner right away for a tight end and a 3rd-round pick. That is a great trade for the Panthers. They are 3-0. And you know what I like about their start and this trade? They realize, you know what? We're just not going to kind of ride it out. We're going to capitalize on this start. We're going to get better. Here's a deal. We'll take it, shore up the secondary, and let's roll. J.C. Horn, the number 1, their first-round draft pick, they went number 8 overall last year, broken foot, maybe out for the rest of the year at 2 to 3 months. So who knows if he can come back. Now you shore that up with another first-round talent coming in C.J. Henderson. Love this trade for Carolina. Love the move, love the aggressiveness, and I love how they're capitalizing on a great start to the season. So C.J. Henderson, former top 10 pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars, out. He is now a Carolina Panther. Crazy how kind of quickly teams can sour on early talent like Jacksonville did, but now C.J. Henderson gets a fresh start in Carolina. So we'll start there. Let's move on to the Buffalo Bills. They crushed the Washington football team on Sunday. And to me, this was an important game for Josh Allen. No one was really talking about it. But through the first 2 games, Josh Allen did not really play that well. And dude, this is a game on Sunday we saw that he looked more like vintage 2020 Josh Allen. Threw for 358 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, which is good. Didn't turn the ball over. But you look at, he had this game. He started the year pretty slow. 56% completion percentage, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. So pretty slow start, kind of mirrored 2019 Josh Allen. And now week number 3 against the football team, he looked like 2020 Josh Allen. That's the Josh Allen Bills fans want to see going forward. So it's a good game, and it's a good step for him to get back on track after a slow start against the Steelers. And look, they blew out the Dolphins 35-0. You actually watch that game, Josh Allen didn't play well at all. He did not. He missed a few throws, was under pressure, was looking unsure, inaccurate. It's a good game, and it's a good opportunity for him to get back on track, get this offense humming. On the flip side, I will say, for the Washington football team, it's time to get concerned about their defense. It's only 3 weeks, but it has not looked good at all. They were cooked by the Bills for 43 points on Sunday. That's coming off of a game on Thursday night last week where they allowed 29 points to a bad Giants offense. And look, you just look at the Giants, how they played against the Falcons. The Giants scored 14 points against the worst defense in the NFL in the Falcons. That's it. If I was quarterback for the Giants, I think I could have engineered more scoring drives against this terrible Falcons defense than the Giants did yesterday. And the football team allowed 29 points. So, yeah, I think it's time to kind of get worried here. They're allowing over 400 total yards per game. That was coming into the weekend. They were one of the worst teams in terms of total defense. Easy for me to say. Then they allowed 481 total yards to the Bills on Sunday. Time to send the panic alarms. Dude, this defense is nowhere near as good as advertised. And that's concerning because look, I actually like Taylor Heinicke a lot. I think he could be like a solid quarterback here. But whether it's Heinicke or Ryan Fitzpatrick, you need, and part of the reason why as a believer in the football team winning the division is you need this defense to play well. This is not just Ryan Tannehill leading the football team or Taylor Heinicke leading the team to the playoffs. This was them playing well, but the defense playing really well as well and kind of keeping them in it. And it's a complementary offense-defense perspective, not all or nothing on the offense. If that's the case, the football team's in big trouble. They are in big trouble. You need the defense to get back on track to win this division. If they play like this the rest of the year, they're not winning the NFC East. Big changes defensively are needed here for the football team now going forward. The Colts. They squander a huge, just an absolutely huge opportunity against the Titans on Sunday. I'm a Colts fan. I really try not to be a homer. I thought they were going to go in here and beat the Titans. Get back on track, run the ball a ton, especially with Carson Wentz's bum ankle. I thought they should have ran the ball, And then, oh yeah, run the ball some more. And instead, they did not do that. Running the ball would have taken pressure off Carson Wentz, who again is on, I would say, one good leg, but even that ankle is sprained. So he's on no good legs. And running the ball also bleeds the clock, and you keep Derrick Henry on the sideline. So to me, running the ball made too much sense yesterday. And instead, you had the run-pass splits for the Colts, anything but balanced. They had 37 pass attempts for the game compared to just 18 rush attempts. I get they're losing the whole game. It was never out of reach, and the Colts are never a team to abandon the run. They abandoned the run yesterday at the worst time possible. Jonathan Taylor averaged 6.4 yards per carry yesterday. He played really well when he got an opportunity. Do you know how many carries he had yesterday? Just 10. And that is unacceptable. I'm sorry. That is totally unacceptable. That's a bad job by Frank Reich. It is. I love Frank Reich. You can't have that happen. You could not go 2-to-1 pass to throws on a quarterback that has no good legs. When you lose Quentin Nelson in the game, you're missing your best right tackle before the game. So you have a makeshift offensive line already with a quarterback that has no mobility. You cannot double up on pass attempts compared to run attempts. You have to pound the rock, and they did not. And that, you know what? What did that mean? That means that Derrick Henry could get settled in, could kind of get going here. And he did so 113 carries. 113 carries. That would be a record, I would say, in one game. 113 yards, 28 carries, also 31 receiving yards. Another big game for Derrick Henry. He really salted the game away late. Ryan Tannehill won the game with his legs. Colts needed this game in the worst way possible. Could not get the job done. Now, look, they're 0-3. I'm not calling the season over yet. It's on the brink. Their season is not over yet. There's still a lot of football to go. The division is not very good. They still have a chance to get back in this, but they needed this game yesterday in the worst way. Cannot get it done. Speaking of needing a win in the worst way and getting the job done, how about the Ravens? Forget that. How about Justin Tucker? Justin Tucker is the hero of yesterday. Because coming off that big-time Chiefs victory on Sunday night, where Lamar kind of gets the monkey off his back in terms of beating the Chiefs for the first time in his career, you could not follow that game up by losing to the Lions. And they were set. They were ready to lose the Lions, and Justin Tucker comes in, NFL record 66-yard field goal to win the game. You know what? I'm going to say, I'll be honest, I never kind of thought about it until yesterday. Then you look at the numbers, you look at the stats, I think it's definitely, this is the case. Justin Tucker is the best kicker in NFL history. He is the GOAT. I get Adam Vinatieri has had not one, but 2 game-winning field goals in the Super Bowl. But you look at his insane accuracy, his clutchness, Justin Tucker takes the cake. He is the best and greatest kicker in NFL history. Excuse me. Because you look at what's leading into this, right? It's not just that he hit a 66-yard field goal, an NFL record, to win the game yesterday, but it's what he's done before this. He has hit now, after making that field goal, 48 straight fourth quarter kicks. That's right. In a league where, as we know, the kicker situation is more up and down than ever, right? More untrustworthy than ever. Where one kicker looked good one year, the next year he can't be trusted. He's cut. It's just up and down. Justin Tucker has now made 48 consecutive fourth quarter kicks for his career. In the final minute of regulation, Justin Tucker is now 16 for 16. He has never missed a kick in the final minute of regulation in his career. You can't be clutcher than that. And after drilling that 66-yard field goal, he now has 2 field goals of 60 or more yards that are good in the final minute of a game. He's the only kicker in NFL history to have that. Some have 1. He's the only kicker in NFL history to have 2 60-plus field goals in the final minute of regulation. And before he made this 66-yarder, do you know what his career long was before this? 61 yards. Do you know where it happened? Detroit. Lions fans on the other side, I mean, I am sorry. I have no words and cannot describe what happened. I don't know what the Lions did, whether it's some bad luck, whether it's just an organization that's cursed. I don't know what happened where Lions fans get the worst luck and the most heartbreaking losses of any fan base consistently. But my God, adding to that again, losing not only in a 66-yard field goal, losing on a 66-yard field goal that hits the crossbar, or most times that hits the crossbar, it bounces out towards the field, not in. Tucker got just enough to kick it in. Lions fans, I'm so sorry. I am sorry. How about the Steelers? Speaking of sorry, they are a sorry team. They lose to the Bengals 24-10. And the biggest thing for me is that this really shouldn't be that surprising. Like, you watch this team, they're not very good. Defensively, they're good. Offensive, they are atrocious. They give you no reason to believe. So it's like you're watching this game yesterday, and it's like, you know what? We really shouldn't be surprised that the Bengals are giving it to them. We shouldn't be surprised that the Steelers offense is feeble, moving the ball yet again. They're not good. And that's the saddest part, is that this should not be a surprise. Losing games at home to the Raiders and to the Bengals. Now, look, going into this game, they were missing TJ Watt, which was a bummer. That did not help the defense, obviously. But offensively, TJ Watt might not make a difference, which is the sad part, because offensively, they could not get anything going. We've been talking about it. I've been saying this ad nauseum, so I'm sorry here, but it bears repeating because it bears out the same way every single week. The Steelers are too one-dimensional, and it's not by choice. It's out of necessity because they can't run the ball. They absolutely cannot run the ball. It has nothing to do with their running back. I like Najee Harris a ton. This offensive line is disgusting. It is putrid. It is so bad. Najee Harris yesterday averages 2.9 yards per carry. 2.9 yards per carry. What did that mean? That equaled Big Ben attempting 58 passes. 58. Big Ben attempting 58 of anything is never a recipe for success. So again, we keep on talking about the same issues because the same issues keep on popping up. The last 6 weeks of the 2020 season, Steelers couldn't run the ball. They couldn't protect. So Big Ben was throwing the ball a ton, but had no deep threats and no time to throw. So it was a lot of underneath routes. And guess what? Defenses figured that out real quick. There's a reason why the Steelers went from 11-0 to out in the first round of the playoffs, just in a blink of an eye. And we talked about it. You see the changes made in the O-line. The names are different, but the talent is the same and worse. That's true. They bring in Najee Harris. But other than that, there's really nothing that gives you any belief that the Steelers offense is going to turn it around in a good way. So I predicted the last 6 weeks of the 2020 season that anemic, boring, predictable offense that we saw in Pittsburgh was going to carry over. And guess what? It has. It has. Because that's what we talked about. Big Ben throwing the ball 58 times because they can't run the ball. Even though he threw the ball 58 times, there's still no deep threat. There's no time to block. He averages 5.5 yards per attempt. And that doesn't hammer home the point of how basically 10 yards and in the Steelers offense is the leading receiver in terms of yards and receptions was Najee Harris. Najee Harris had 14 receptions yesterday. A running back, 14 catches. I understand they ran him a few times, ran routes. It wasn't just all dump-offs. But a lot of those are checkdowns. A lot of them are dump-offs. Ben doesn't have the time, doesn't have the arm, doesn't have the protection, and now their offense is 10 yards in it. Like in kickball or softball, if you're playing, they say, infield in, we got a weak hitter here. Infield in, outfield, bring it in. And everyone's walking in close. That's what defenses are doing to this Pittsburgh Steelers team. All right, Ben's in the shotgun, guys, bring it in. Safeties, come on. Let's go. 10 yards and in. Everyone come up. And everyone is crowded on the line of scrimmage because there's no deep threat. They know they're not going to run the ball. They know Big Ben won't have time to throw the ball deep. And they are just taking away every single throwing lane possible. And the Steelers don't have any answers. So I feel good saying it before that they're going to be 8-9. And I feel even better about it now. They will be under 500 for the first time since 2003. A sad end to the Big Ben era. But this team is going to need a major, major overhaul, starting with the O-line in 2022. So the final game I want to get to here, the final point I want to make, was a game that a lot of people were excited to watch because of Justin Fields. He was finally, after everyone was clamoring, begging for Justin Fields to start. Didn't start week 1. Andy Dalton gets hurt in week 2. Now week 3 is the time Justin Fields finally gets on the field. And you know what? I'm going to apologize here. I'm going to give a guy credit that not a lot of people are giving credit to. Matt Nagy. I'll flat out say it. He's right. You want to keep on saying Andy Dalton is your starter when healthy? Fine. You win. Andy Dalton is your starter when healthy because guess what? You cannot put Justin Fields on the field behind this O-line. You cannot do it. I'm sorry. One game is enough for me to say it. This kid had no chance. Justin Fields had absolutely zero chance yesterday. I know I was wrong. This Bears O-line, way worse than I thought. So, yeah, I'm coming off of Thursday's show where I told you Justin Fields, no matter what, should start the rest of the season. Here I am coming to you Monday saying, you know what? Andy Dalton start the rest of the year? Yeah, what the hell? Actually looks pretty good. Because Justin Fields didn't have a shot. Goes 6 of 20 for just 68 yards. A lot of that not his fault. The big stat, the big number, sack totals. He was sacked 9 times. 9 times. Incredible. Just 47 yards of total offense for this team. It was an awful showing. You know what it reminded me of? It honestly, watching that, looked like the JV team scrimmaging the varsity. With the varsity trying to get some reps and ready to go, and you have the JV offensive line trying to block the 6'4", 250-pound defensive lineman that's a senior. You don't have a shot. You don't have a chance. So guess what? If I'm Matt Nagy, you know what I don't want happening if this is going to continue? I don't want Justin Fields getting the crap beat out of him year 1. I don't want him developing bad habits. I'd give the O-line one more shot. Look, you're playing the Lions. You can't block against the Lions. You can't give Justin Fields time. Pull the plug. Do not play Justin Fields the rest of the year. Because playing him behind this beleaguered O-line is only going to get him hurt, get him killed, and develop bad habits. We kind of saw with Sam Darnold. We saw with Jameis Winston, right? You hear the coaches trying to talk about coaching him out of bad habits. The reason they got into bad habits was because the teams in front of them were not very good. Sam Darnold used to catch the ball and throwing it away because he had no time to read defenses to throw the ball because the pass rush was right in his face. You don't want that happening to Justin Fields. I'd rather him sit on the sideline for an entire year, learn, watch Andy Dalton get crushed, watch Nick Foles get crushed, than have him get out there, be a crash test dummy, develop bad habits because now he's catching the ball, throwing it away because there's no time to throw, and then you're working on undoing those bad habits he developed in the offseason. You got one more chance there for the O-line. Block the lines. If you cannot block Detroit's front four, and Justin Fields is, again, running for his life like he was in Cleveland, Matt Nagy, pull the plug. You were right. Hands up. You win. Andy Dalton's your starter. Nick Foles your starter. Justin Fields cannot play. So that was my big takeaway. My goodness gracious. Poor Justin Fields. Nothing on him. That O-line was pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. So I'm curious your thoughts here. What'd you think? What should the Bears do with Justin Fields? Would you play him? Would you run him out there behind that pathetic, bad O-line? Or should they, say, fine, forget it. We're going to sit him until protection actually comes, so they actually learn how to block. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Facebook, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Twitter, WWSRN_radio, at Ryan Hickey Show on Twitter as well. We'll take your thoughts. And when we do return here, we'll circle back to the Packers. Is it time to blow up the future? We'll discuss when the Ryan Hickey Show does return right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stocks, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC. Annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit them online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. As a volunteer, you deliver a hot, nutritious meal and a friendly hello to someone just like your mother, grandfather, or next door neighbor. These seniors are inspiring people with incredible stories to share, and they love to see you. The smiles you get back are priceless. Delivering with Meals on Wheels is easy, and you don't have to drive like me for it to be quick. You can volunteer your lunch break once a week or just once a month. With 1 in 6 seniors facing hunger and many more living in isolation, your lunch break can make a real difference. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Okay, Simon, what are you wearing right now?
Nothing.
That's right. And what do people normally wear?
Clothes.
Exactly. So now Mommy's going to teach you how to dress yourself. Clothes keep us warm, they look good, and if we go out without them, the neighbors will talk. So it's important to know how to get dressed. Here's how it's done. Underwear always comes first, name tag at the back, then pants, then shirt. Get the first button in the right hole, or you have to start all over. If you're wearing a tie, it goes over, round, round, through, and pull tight. Tuck your shirt into your pants and zip up your fly. Socks going first, then shoes, right on right, left on left. With shoelaces, just take the ends, cross them over, switch the loops. The rabbit goes down the hole, pull tight, and you're left with bunny ears.
I love bunnies.
Good to know. Now remember, spots don't go with stripes, socks don't go with sandals, and if you've tucked in your shirt, wear a belt. Got it? Why are your pants on your head?
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But spending just 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush their teeth is easier and could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain. For fun 2-minute videos to watch while brushing, visit 2min2x.org. That's 2min2x.org. A message from the Partnership for Healthy Mouths, Healthy Lives, and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Welcome back to the Ryan Hickey Show, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Wrapping up here on a Monday morning, the Monday after week 3 in the NFL and week number 4 in college football. Big takeaway from the Sunday night game last night is that, you know what, if you're the Green Bay Packers here, it's not too late to say you're sorry. I had a nice engagement party for my friend Christina. Congratulations to Christina and Charlie. One of my first friends to get engaged. So kind of, laying out the engagement party scene and, friends from college, seeing a lot of friends that I haven't seen too often. So what do you do when you don't see friends that often? Reminiscing about the good old days. One of the fun times we always had was playing that Sorry song by Justin Bieber. That came out our senior year. So that was one that was always kind of bumping, always a good song that we have some good memories to. So I kind of now thinking about it, that song's on my brain. Justin Bieber. It's not too late to say sorry. If you're the Packers, it is not too late to say sorry to Aaron Rodgers. Watching him come back the way he did, 37 seconds left on the clock, 0 timeouts right after Jimmy G marches the 49ers down to score a touchdown, put the 49ers up 1. You're thinking game over. I'm thinking it. You're thinking it. Oh, there's a joke. I saw one tweet, Is it too much time left on the clock? I'm like, okay. Funny, but you know what? No, there's no shot. One completion inbounds, and basically, the game's over. But 37 seconds left, no timeouts, was indeed too much for Aaron Rodgers. And he shows you. To me, that drive alone, 37 seconds left, no timeouts, getting the Packers down to field goal range and giving Mason Crosby a chance to win it, which he did. That is enough right there. I never thought the Packers should have traded Aaron Rodgers in the first place. But now that should really drive home the fact to Brian Gutekunst, the general manager, Mark Murphy, the president. You cannot allow this guy to walk out the door. You cannot allow an elite quarterback still in his prime, even at 37 years old, going to be 38 in a few months. You cannot allow him to walk out the door, trade him to another team in the offseason, and have him have success somewhere else. You cannot move on from an elite quarterback for an unknown in Jordan Love. You can't do it. You need to reevaluate your future right now. Just get on the phone, call Aaron Rodgers' agent, do whatever it takes. Beg, plead to keep Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay the rest of his career. You cannot allow an elite quarterback to go somewhere else. You cannot allow Aaron Rodgers to leave this team. Blow up the future right now. Sure, you have some egg on your face. I get it. It'd be a little bit embarrassing. You kind of have to swallow some pride and go on Aaron Rodgers, tell him you're sorry, tell him you made a mistake. But you know what? It worked once already. Aaron Rodgers returned to this Packers team already without really any concessions after having a big stink in the offseason, after throwing some subtle hints that maybe he'll leave and wanting out. He did instead return with really nothing different in his contract. So it worked once already. The Packers need to do it again and lock him up for the duration of his career. Because guess what? Last night, and Rodgers single-handedly saving the day for the Packers, he showed you the value and importance of having an elite quarterback. There was 3, maybe 4 quarterbacks in all of the NFL yesterday that 37 seconds down by 1, no timeouts, are leading you to victory. There's really not many. Mahomes, Brady, Wilson, Rodgers. That's really it. There's not a lot of quarterbacks doing and pulling the win, basically pulling a rabbit out of your hat, as what Aaron Rodgers did, and stealing a win like that on the road. Aaron Rodgers re-emphasized last night the importance of having an elite quarterback. And if you're the Packers, you look around the NFL, what have we basically been talking about on the show ad nauseum for the NFL anytime we're talking? It's always about quarterbacks, right? That's always the focal point. That's always the main topic. That is always either a lightning rod if they lose, or always the guy we praise first if they win. The quarterback position is the most important in the NFL for a reason. It has the biggest impact to wins or on wins or losses of any other position in all of sports. So with that said, wouldn't you think you would do anything possible to keep an elite quarterback that you have? It doesn't make any sense. And I'm trying to find reasons in my brain last night after that game to think why the Packers are so eager to rush on and move on from Aaron Rodgers. Like, why are they trying to usher Aaron Rodgers out of Green Bay? Could someone smart please explain that to me? Because I don't understand it. You have what 29, 28 other teams would kill for, would move mountains to get in Aaron Rodgers. You have one of those commodities. You have one of the rarest quarterbacks in all of the NFL that has consistently played an elite level, that is still playing at an elite level, and you're ready to kind of kick him to the curb. Oh, yeah, let's move on. Let's go somewhere else. Let's get the next guy back. The grass is not always greener on the other side. The Packers should be concerned that how many teams would flood their phone lines right now if they put Aaron Rodgers on the trade block, and will flood their phone lines come the offseason if that's actually the plan they go down. But they absolutely should not. You cannot allow Aaron Rodgers to leave your building this offseason. I don't care if he only has 3 or 4 more years left. And if you're Brian Gutekunst and you're Mark Murphy, you're thinking about 10, 15 years down the line, because that's kind of how the Packers operate. You need to call an audible here. You need to reevaluate your business plan. I get this is how the Packers always kind of model themselves. They always go for consistency. They never try to go for a winner. They they focus and they rather have consistent winning and contention rather than going all in and maybe winning a Super Bowl, but then having a few years later on where it's kind of bleak. So what are the Patriots going for, right? Remember Bill Belichick said they went all in to win Super Bowls. They beat the Falcons. They went to the Super Bowl against the Eagles. They beat the Rams. They went all in that little run of Super Bowls, and now you're kind of seeing the back end of that where Tom Brady left in 2019. They had some cap issues. They had a down 2020 season. Now they're trying to, get back there with Mac Jones, and he's having some rookie bumps. But Bill Belichick admitted, yeah, we went all in. It worked. We won some Super Bowls, but now this is kind of the cost of doing business on the other side when you make that push for 2, 3, 4 years. That's not what the Packers want. They don't want that down period where they're not competitive, where they're not in the playoff push, where they're really not that great. But you know what? Getting another Super Bowl or two, getting another Super Bowl appearance or two, it is worth it. You cannot sit there and be the team that gave up on Aaron Rodgers. For the Colts, look, it still pains me that they moved on from Peyton Manning, but they had a legitimate reason to, with his neck injury at least. That was a situation where no one really knew how good Peyton Manning could be. He would never proved everyone wrong, had some great years, won a Super Bowl, appeared in 2. Tom Brady, I didn't think he was washed up. A lot of people thought he was washed up. Now, that was a situation where you can almost make the argument there's no way he was going to come back just with the way the team was constructed. The salary cap issue was fine. But for the Packers to willingly trade Aaron Rodgers, to be the one to say, yeah, we're going to move on here, not have the other way around where the quarterback wants to leave, but you're going to be the one saying, yeah, thanks for what you're doing. You're still playing at a really high level. You're still playing like a top 3-5 quarterback in the NFL. I know you just won the MVP last year. We're good. We'd rather see what Jordan Love has. We don't know what Jordan Love could be. He could be a solid quarterback. He could be a pretty good quarterback. He could be an awful quarterback. We'd rather go with the uncertainty of Jordan Love than keep the elite quarterback here for the next 3, 4, 5 years. That's a mistake. That is absolutely a mistake. That is going to be one of the biggest mistakes ever made in Packers history. Last night just re-emphasized you cannot allow Aaron Rodgers to leave your building. Again, sometimes when you look around, you take a step back and you think to yourself, if we wanted to trade Aaron Rodgers right now, how many teams would call our phone? Almost every team in the league would make that phone call. That should kind of give you, put your antennas up. Say, we got something here. Why get rid of it? We got something that no real other team has. Why are we willingly going to just move on? It doesn't make any sense. It's still not too late. There is still time to bury the hatchet, to make nice, to make up. That should start this morning. Murphy and Gutekunst should be on the phone right now, begging Aaron Rodgers to come back, blow up the future plans, and get on the phone with other teams, not for an Aaron Rodgers trade, for a Jordan Love trade. Just move it. Eat it. Sure, you'd have to eat some crow. Sure, it'd look bad and you get some bad press. But the bad press of moving up to draft a quarterback and then trading him 2 years later is a lot better. It's a lot easier to handle when you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback than vice versa. Than trading Aaron Rodgers, having him go elsewhere, have success, and you have Jordan Love. If he struggles, you're not surviving that. That's way worse PR. That's a way bigger disaster. So that's for me, that was my big takeaway from last night's game is you have the assertion that Aaron Rodgers wants to play until his 40s, right? It's not Brett Favre where maybe I'll retire, maybe I'll play. You know he wants to play. You know he wants to stay in Green Bay. You know he is playing like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. So what is the rush? What is the rush? I don't understand it. There should be no rush. If anything, there should be a rush to get Jordan Love out of town. Make sure you keep that elite quarterback no matter what, because you don't know what you got till it's gone. They had Brett Favre. You had Aaron Rodgers. You've had over 2 decades of elite quarterback play. I hate to tell you, ask any other team in the NFL this. Elite quarterbacks don't grow on trees. Ask the Colts. They did a similar transition. They went from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck. Last 4 years when Andrew Luck retired, guess what they've been doing? Scrambling. Or 3 years. Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz. They could be on their 4th quarterback this year or next year in 4 years since Andrew Luck retired. If that's what the Packers want to go for, I mean, be my guest, go for it. I'll run right now to Green Bay, pick up Aaron Rodgers, and bring him to Indianapolis. It makes no sense why the Packers are so eager to move on from a guy who so clearly has so much football left in his arm and so clearly help your team get so much better than where they are right now. I don't get it. If you get it, if you can explain it to me, please. My lines are open here. Facebook, Worldwide Sports Radio Network, Twitter, WWSRN_radio, add Ryan Hickey Show on Twitter as well. Why the hell would the Packers ever want to get rid of Aaron Rodgers? Someone explain to you. Someone smart. Say how this is a smart business decision for Green Bay. I don't think it is. I hope, if you're a Packers fan, yesterday serves as a wake-up call saying, man, that's what an elite quarterback does. That's what we have. We want to keep this for as long as we possibly can. Get every ounce of greatness out of Aaron Rodgers, which to me means blowing the future, keeping him on the team long-term. Not too late to say you're sorry. Listen to Justin Bieber once. You'll know. It's not too late to say you're sorry. Brian Gutekunst and Mark Murphy. I'd start getting the phone right now saying my sorries. Begging Aaron Rodgers, don't go anywhere. We need you. We need you. So that'll do it for this edition of the Ryan Hickey Show on this Monday. We really do appreciate you making us a part of your Monday here. Getting the week started on the Worldwide Sports Network. A blast as always. Talk some sports, talk some NFL, talk some college football with you. So excited to do it again on Thursday. Pumped up. We'll get you ready for week number 4. A huge, huge weekend in college football. Arkansas, Georgia, Cincinnati, Notre Dame. A lot of good matchups. Ole Miss, Alabama. How could I forget? A lot of good matchups locked in here on the docket this weekend. So pumped for it. So excited to talk with you and get you ready. And before, actually, no, I'll say it for Thursday. Big week in Hickey's Pickies. We'll just say that. History was made last week. We'll give you the updated standings on Thursday's show. But until then, stay safe, stay sane, and we'll talk to you on Thursday right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.